more people that live that type of fucking American reality, but isn't that American dream is? Because there's more people that live that type of fucking American reality. But isn't that American dream is? Because there's more people that live that type of fucking American reality, but isn't that American dream is? Because there's more people that live that type of fucking American reality. Good morning, 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 good morning. I wanted to do something different, and starting June 1st on 36th and Penn, we will be doing Operation Hug the Block. But also, this month as well, it is the end of the Minnesota legislative session. And I wanted to really get into that. So I wanted to do something different. And so I'm calling this for the next month. It presents the Urban Conservative with Chaz, Neal presents Unfiltered Truth, Confronting Good versus Evil. And I wanted to do that because for a certain reason, it's an election year, and a very important election year as well. Hold on a minute. Whoops. It's an election year and an important election year. As you're seeing things that go on at different universities, because we've seen this happen in 2020. We've seen this with George Floyd, we've seen this with COVID. But what I seen last night and then, waking up this morning and seeing different organizations put out subliminal statements. And I want people to understand is there's nothing that's different that is happening in 2024 that wasn't happening in 2020, right? You have kids, and I'm not going to say they're all kids, right? You have individuals that are coming in solidarity to stand um, with these kids, and not just the fact with these students, but with Gaza. And I keep on thinking because um, I don't remember if people remember when Ukraine Russia popped off, and Zelensky, their president, made a statement of, "Do you want our money? Do you want to send your money, or do you want to send your kids?" And I don't think a lot of people fully understood what bless up what that meant. Of, would you rather send money or your kids? Because now you see in the Palestine Gaza, um, Israel and Palestine, you see lots of money being thrown Israel's way. But not only that, you also see a revolution happening that is beyond political control. Beyond political control. Um, because you have certain universities that made blank statements that said they would divest from Israel, but only to come to find out that was just a blank statement because they really didn't mean that. Um, and I know I got off for just a little base there, but what I was trying to go there with Israel and Palestine is the fact that you now have Biden saying that moving Gaza Palestinians to America. I have no issue with that. I have none, right? But I don't think that's what they want. I, and to me, I feel like that's just another ploy um, for Israel to win, for Israel to come in there and be like, you know what, Biden said and America said that they would take all of these people out of Gaza and take them, um, and give them asylum ship and give them a path to citizenship. And I don't think that's what people want. Yeah, they want freedom, they want liberty, they want justice, but I don't think they want to be looked at as migrants or as immigrants to be able to get it. I think they want that in their own vicinity. Um, so I want people to pay attention to that. But what I wanted to show, and I don't know how great this is going to play, so please be. Uh, we had to take one of the laptops in to get fixed. Something was wrong with it, and it wasn't. This one isn't acting right either. So just please bear with me. Um, but I wanted to show there was a press conference this morning from Mayor Eric Adams, and if people don't know what happened last night um, in um, New York, Manhattan, you had um, NY, New York Police Department, in riot gear, uh, stormed Columbia University. There was, from my understanding, there was over about 300 arrests last night. Um, and not only just that, um, but also UCLA, University of Texas. There's been a large police presence in some of these areas. And just as this morning, I want people to realize, as it started with Columbia University. And now there's over 120 universities that have encampments that are standing in solidarity with Palestinians and Gaza, right? So is that awakening people? Because for me, I see it awakening kids, but also I see this an opportunity for people to co-opt, because there's a lot of people that they don't know how to protest. They don't know, that's the one crazy thing, because as me and, Ashley my wife was watching some footage, and she was like, damn, That reminds me of like when we occupied Hennepin County Government Center, the courthouse downtown. And then I played her another video. And she was like, wow, they're doing the same things that they did to us. And I said, correctly, they are. They are trying to co-opt so that they could take over. And it's a sham. It's a shame. Not a shame. Well, that too. It's a shame because you're literally having people that have failed and see an opportunity to take over. And you're going to have some people because of certain names of like Lavish Mac. You're going to see names like Sean King. Oh, watch that name. Watch that man. I'm telling you right now, there's no way that these people are going to miss an opportunity for cameras. For cameras. They're not going to miss an opportunity. Because here's the thing of it is, these same people that were out and that are out right now, right? And I'm not speaking on everybody, so I don't want everybody. If the shoe fits, wear this motherfucker. That's all I'm gonna say because I'm really not calling out people, right? I'm just gonna say this as a general blank statement because literally everybody is wearing this shoe. Um, but literally, we see the protests for Gaza, right? We see the protests for Palestinians. We see the encampments, we see the occupation zones, just like we seen in 2020 for George Floyd. We seen Chaz, we seen the chop. Uh, George Floyd Square is still there. I was just there yesterday. Just there yesterday. It's not the same because people are still going in there. You have buses. You have. I did actually something that I thought I would never do. Right? Is drive through there in a car. And yesterday I did. I drove through there. I drove through there to get to the restaurant that we were going to eat at. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Activists, there's people that are defenders of that area that drove through there, and I just told myself, you know what? What's crazy is, these people who stood up for George Floyd, and they call that an occupation zone, but if people are just literally allowed to just drive through there, and it's not the way that it was because there used to be barricades, cars weren't allowed. Um, so I really don't call it an occupation zone anymore. Uh, the bus goes through there. Yeah, there's a bus stop there. Uh, so I really can't call that an occupation zone anymore. And for the simple fact of, I feel like people have gotten away from the whole police brutality movement a little bit. For the simple fact of, there's so many narratives. You've seen all this money thrown around, but nothing changes. You've seen all these people talking about defund the police, right? You've seen all these people talking about community policing. Where are the proposals, right? That's what I don't understand is how are we supposed to change something if we're not actively doing it? If we're not actively, if we're not actively out here trying to community police, right? If we're not out here, this is the one thing that I've been in a couple meetings the last couple days, and you know, one for Rochester, you know, I think for me, it's and this is something that's been said over and over again, a lack of communication, a lot of breakdown in communication because there's a lot of resources in Minnesota, a lot for opportunities that are aimed and directed at us, right? So then it's like, how come we can't achieve something? How come we can't get to that greatness? If there's all this legislation that makes it, um, fair and even, or they have all these opportunities for home ownership, self entrepreneurship, college opportunities, right? Why are we not at the forefront? But then it's I see it's a breakdown of communication. Are we going to the right places to make sure that the information is going to the right ears? Are we helping people get through the maze? Because a lot of this shit is paperwork. And sometimes we don't understand it, or there's so many steps that you got to take that people give up. So we have to be there to continue holding these people. I don't know. I'm not saying a handout. I'm not continually. What I'm saying is solidarity, not charity, right? And that's what I see. Minneapolis just gave out millions of dollars the other day, Monday, when they had their council. Millions of dollars to groups that can't prove that what they were doing is working, but yet the city keeps on giving them money. The same thing with the state of Minnesota. Our educational programs, they keep on throwing money at these programs, and there's no metrics to show that if it's a success or if it's a failure. But they just keep throwing money at it. Because you know why? Oh, because you know what? Our education system sucks. So let's fully fund it. But yet, it's still drastically underfunded. And then they cut the program that help the kids that come from low poverty areas, low poverty, that parents that work a couple jobs. So the teenagers basically are adults because there's no parent, their dad or their mother, maybe their dad's not around, he's in prison. The mom works a couple jobs so she can take care of bills. And then we get mad and want to lock these kids up, but then don't understand that they don't have any mentors or positive. And I'm not going to say positive because maybe their mother is a positive figure in their life, right? But she's too busy taking care of the kids to really be informed of what's actually going on with her teenager because she doesn't have time for it. She works two jobs so she can pay the bills. So because I really had to think about that, and that's why I listen to people, like Dr. Claude Anderson, of saying that we can't fix the black problem without fixing it all because it's like a glove. You you can't fix one and not fix the others because that one still affects everything else. And we have to realize that. And that's why for me, I'm excited to do Operation Hug the Block. I'm excited to go out there and to educate people about legislation, um, to educate people about opportunities to be great, because there's a lot. We have over $1.1 billion that was allocated to give to nonprofits to empower and to embetter um, marginalized communities. And I'm going to make damn sure that a majority of that 1.1 billion goes to the right areas so that there actually is affordable housing. And what I mean by affordable housing is not that there's more renters, that there's more homeowners, so that we're actually stakeholders in our community, so that we understand that projects like the Destination Medical Center is gentrifying marginalized poor communities in Rochester. And because we aren't educated enough to pay attention, or we think that doesn't affect us, oh, it's going to affect you. All of these things are going to affect you. The things that they're doing in our school systems, they're going to affect us. The things that's what, yeah, I literally had to sit there and think about some things, because what are we doing? What are we doing? I sat there at I went to in Minneapolis yesterday. I went to because I gotta eat. Um and I'm gonna play this video after I'm done with this story. But we went to Mama's House of Soul. Man, a good place. Kool-Aid slapping, uh mac and cheese slapping, uh collard greens was slapping, the spaghetti was slapping, uh banana pudding was slapping, just everything was slapping, right? It was busting. Um, but while I was there, individual came up to me and said, "Hey, you look familiar." Um, some, he introduced himself, and he was a pastor, Frederick, black pastor over South Minneapolis. And he's a part of a group that is trying to change the third precinct into a black cultural center for black Americans. That is for us. Um, and he asked me, how did I feel about it? And I said, you know what? I said, what's crazy is I love the idea. It doesn't change anything over there. Hook and ladder is still there. All the property is, you know what the holdup is? It's Mayor Frey. It's Vitaw. It's Rainville. It's even Jenkins, because they think it's a good idea. Some of them do, but they think that it should go into George Floyd Square. And that's the one thing that I don't think. There's still some people on the council, or even at the state legislators, state representatives, that want to still use George Floyd, and us as a community want to move past that, because that's not George Floyd isn't the only black name out here. We're dealing with Ricky Cobb right now, which has turned way more political than George did. You literally had them bus up just on Monday, if people didn't see that, for Ryan Lundgren's hearing. They literally bus people from all over the state of Minnesota to come up here. You literally had people that ran for office, current representatives, that were there in support. So you had police officers that were off duty. Um, I would hope they were off duty, but had their guns on. And then the first thing that you notice when you go into the building is that guns are banned on these premises. So it's like, something ain't making sense to me. How is it okay for off duty police officers to be in a space that bans guns, but yet, as a citizen, we can't protect ourselves in there, but they can? I really did. That showed me, because we've literally had people that were arrested for having guns on that premises. The same while these people that were off duty in support of a killer cop, it was okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. But back to the third precinct, I think it's a wonderful idea, a beautiful idea. And if people actually looked at this plan, and I am going to show the presentation, because, I am calling this the unfiltered truth. And people aren't going to like the truth, because it is time to confront good versus evil. And people have to realize what we're fighting for. This isn't about politics. You know what I'm saying? I literally think of, when I sit there and people talk about how, Bloods versus Crips, or GDs versus Vice Lords, that's how I literally see this politics shit. This shit ain't no different than, because you got one side is red, the other side blue. How is that not like Bloods and Crips? Come on now. All that makes them different is ideology, because at the end of the day, we're all the same people. It's just the ideology that makes them different. That's it. That's it. It's still the same thing. It's just you flip it over, same thing. It's a quarter. Ain't no different. But let me get in this, because I think this is gonna shock some people.
Hey, good morning, everybody. All right, so in a minute, you're going to hear from the mayor and the leadership of the NYPD, the police commissioner as well. I think last night is another example of why we call New York's finest. Um, uh, just a tremendous job done by the men and women of the NYPD. Such restraint, such precision. Um, just a totally great job by the men and women of the NYPD, especially our ESU, SRG, and CRT units. So I can, from all of us up here, we just want to commend them, and I'm sure from most of the New Yorkers we spoke to, big kudos to those units and all of the cops who helped in that operation last night. So let's get this started, and let's hear from the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams.
Thank you so much, Tariq. Uh, and I want to be clear that although there was a massive operation taking place at Columbia University, uh, we also was dealing with a an operation taking place at CUNY, and we also had a city to protect. So this is not the department that will deal with one production at a time. There are a multitude of things that happens in a city of this capacity and magnitude, and you have to be a well-organized professional operation to deal with all of those encounters. And I just want to thank Commissioner Caban, the Chief of Department, Madry, Chief Shell, Commissioner Daughtry, First Deputy Commissioner and Casella, and the entire operation. And specifically, I just really want to thank Commissioner Weiner. She was the one that was monitoring the situation when I first started. Yourself at the request
Said I was going to have
of
technical
Columbia
difficulties.
University. After speaking with them throughout the week, at their
So we're
request,
still playing
and their acknowledgement that
the interview from
agitators were
Eric
on their grounds,
Adams.
training and really co-opting this movement.
I
At their
appreciate the
request, we went in and conducted an operation to allow Columbia University to remove those who have turned the peaceful protest into a place where anti-Semitism and anti-Israel attitudes were pervasive. Approximately 300 people were arrested at Columbia and City College. We are processing the arrests to distinguish between who were actual students and who were not supposed to be on the ground. And we pointed out these external actors with a history of escalating situations and trying to create chaos, not to peacefully protest,
create
but
chaos.
create chaos.
If you were at City College and you saw the bottles, the garbage cans, the other items that were thrown at police officers, those police officers showed a great level of discipline to not allow this to evolve to an out of control situation.